Hey guys, how you guys doing? Just comment below. How's your day been? What was the main highlight of your day? And thirdly, what frustrations did you face? How did you overcome them? Or, just kind of vent a little bit. This is Slice of Life, RL. So SOL, Slice of Life, kind of amalgamation of a genre into in real life responsibilities, a mix of this authentic VR paradox. And today, in this particular episode, we're following up from yesterday, which I'm holding this here. By the way, thanks for showing up here. I'm just gonna play a new animation that I haven't used in a while. Yeah, to all the supporters, really appreciate that. But we have this, display here. We're gonna talk a little bit briefly before we start into the main topic of the video. And it's that the main topic, first of all, is gonna be a lot about security and finance. They go together hand in hand. Specifically, you could say online security. So we're going to cover at least 10 tabs, all within a string of related events and relating to, say, antiviral software, anti-malware, resetting passwords. So, and identity theft protection, relating to all that kind of cybersecurity related material. Also, some of the things that we have to reset in the accounts, having to relate to do with business or finance or banking, and I believe also potentially some government related stuff. So it's all about privacy, confidentiality, personal identity, and a variety of related topics on that tangent, which is what you see over here on the left hand side, the right hand side. Two tabs. That's what we're going to be discussing throughout the entire tab. And again, that's what I've been focusing on for the past, honestly, the past 2 hours. So day by day, daily activity kind of thing, just down to earth, relatable. Podcast won't last more than about 15 minutes, I hope, because that's how this works, right? It's 9 to 5. Probably you're listening to this on the workplace as you're on a commute to work. All right, so first we're going to switch scenes. Okay, that's Project Jira, of course. And I mentioned very briefly that if you're watching this as a video format, which you can do that as well, over on YouTube, just head over there. I have right here one side of the Muterlun equipment strap, and I felt it was a good segue to go from this. It's the topic most related to these kind of equipment straps and stuff like that, as a lot to do with security, right? It's anti-theft, and now we're going to dive into cybersecurity, anti-theft, anti-malware, that kind of stuff. It's really good. So it's a direct follow-up. Just wanted to showcase that. In fact, I want to show how we've adjusted the straps here from based off the previous video. We didn't actually adjust it, and I didn't know that we could. I thought they couldn't be adjusted, but we can. So it's looking a lot better. And you can see it goes right here by the belt. And the reason why you can adjust is because they have all these notches here. If I showcase too close to the camera, you see there's a hole here, and I didn't see these holes because they're so subtle if the button's not pressed through it. But this was lowered all the way down here, so this button was looped over here, and so there's a full maybe like 3 inches of extra length that I now condensed and shorter now, so it's much more fitting. Okay. So these are pockets, I mentioned when I have my jacket over there. Sometimes I switch jackets. It's annoying and time consuming having to switch and take off my gear and then put onto the new jacket or the next jacket that we'll wear. Just because the temper differential is so great in this country, which is, I'm used to it by now, but it doesn't make the work any less annoying. Of course, this came inside the packaging here, which I will be putting back inside. I don't think I'll be using it, and then putting it into storage after having tested it out and shown to the camera. There's not a whole lot of reason for me to keep it. I don't use it very often, and instead I'll be most likely using this one instead, which is what we washed in the previous video. Okay, so of course if you want to see that one, it's just the previous video to this one, the video podcast the day beforehand. It covers this back belt with all the gear attached, including pens and pointy related things and gear sets. So let's head over to security related, cybersecurity related material. And I think it lagged a little bit there, but the main topic here, and fuck, it's already 5 minutes in. I don't know how it took that long to get to this point. We have cybersecurity related stuff. In fact, I think it's a little too small for you to see, but that's okay. It's all right. It's not a big deal. The reason why it's not a big deal is because this is all that kind of privacy, private, confidential stuff. I did go sift through and make sure that nothing here is confidential is going to be shown, but it probably does help that it's smaller in case something does get shown. Anyways, there won't be anything, but just in case. So over here on the very top, we have the first thing shown is a tab. So I was talking about the reason why I am particularly right now, the past couple hours, I was just paying some bills, all right, paying the credit card off. So I have a tab here open. I just went to Microsoft Bing and that's a basic default tab, typed in bank. Now, obviously it shows up some institutions here. It says over here, Scotia Bank, news about banking, CBC, Toronto Sun, Bank of Canada increases the rates, Yahoo Finance. None of this, obviously I didn't put in my actual banking account or institution. That's the reason why I just Binged it or Googled it. Bing is going to be a fair competitor to Google. Now, although not, honestly, it doesn't seem like they're really reaching that kind of level yet, but that's all right. All right, so that's Bing. Well, that's banking. And so let's just hop on over to right here, which is McAfee. So I mentioned that we have, a real reason to do this. It's because I actually mentioned about a year and a half ago, there was some sort of intrusion. I won't say specifically what, but my laptop was, I guess you could say, somewhat compromised. And I was not able to use that laptop anymore with good conscience. And I subscribed to a new package on McAfee, and I don't usually like to use McAfee. It's just something that I use by default. Sometimes because it was included in one of those like a bloatware bundles to every brand new laptop. But I have another antivirus, anti-malware subscription to something far more, I believe, in my opinion, stronger. But anyways, that's McAfee here, and they had specifically one package that was focused on identity theft protection, which I personally believe they actually do a better job than the one that I said has a stronger endpoint security and so on and so forth. McAfee, however, tends to do better, I believe, when it comes to fraud and identity theft protection. So there's a package over there, and I don't know how true to where that is. I can't remember if I did the research on that, but yeah, that's that. So let's hop on to another tab, which is right here. Of course, there's you can choose a variety of different ones. I won't say specifically which ones you can use or which ones I use specifically, but for example, one is Kaspersky. AVG is probably not that great, but Kaspersky. We also have what's that called? ESET security protection, and we also have BitDefender. I believe BitDefender is the #1 ranking, so I've chosen that one to show right here. We have, of course, gone to Bing, pulled up BitDefender. I don't know what kind of antiviral software you guys use. You don't have to disclose this kind of stuff, even if you tell us stories. Again, tell me about your day, how it went. Tell me if you've done something relevant like this. Of course, I'm pretty sure all of us are using some form of antivirus software. And if you're not, already the basic pre-installed, if you're using Windows Defender itself, or Microsoft Defender to rebrand it, is fair enough in itself. But here's BitDefender, of course, and I believe it's the leading one. So it says here, BitDefender is a Romanian cybersecurity technology company headquartered in Bucharest, Romania, with offices in the United States, Europe, Australia, and the Middle East. Company founded in 2000 blah, and founder Florent Tapas, and so on. So November 6th, 2001 founded. Okay, so that's the search, and I just wanted to showcase that. Here's the login page. Right, sign in, and if you have an account, and then you go across, and I believe there was a reason why I had this up here, although I can't remember specifically. Here's another page here. So I think, and give me a moment, And I think, okay, the main reason I just did a little pause, there's always like a time freeze for me because the time freezes for a moment. The main reason why I had this is because in BitDefender, I believe one of the things that, so I believe I have a subscription to the fraud protection or whatever. There's basically a data breach, right? They notify me about stuff like this and other software packages that I have used in the past. So I am able to hear, okay, here was a certain company, so on and so forth, that had their passwords or personal identification vault hacked into, right? And then disclose. Usually the information is encrypted, but even if it's encrypted, you do want to be mindful and change your passwords information if you can. And so what ended up happening was I hopped over to BitDefender and realized that I believe my page over here on Facebook, right, there was a data breach that I didn't know about in 2021. Facebook was hacked. They were hacked or something like that, and I believe there's a controversy surrounding this. They didn't even disclose it to public until they were pressed on it, I believe. Anyways, the point is, it gives me reason to say maybe I should change my password or so on and so forth, which I believe I received a prompt already and I changed it, but I didn't notify my anti-malware, not anti-malware, but the identity theft protection or fraud protection suite about that. And so they had some notifications going off, trying to say, hey, you should change your password. And I already did, but I didn't let them know. So that's that. And of course, two-factor authentication, all that kind of stuff, you should already have up by default. I don't really think we have to talk about 2FA in this day and age. Everyone's has to use two-factor authentication, I'm pretty sure. It's very, very important. One last thing here I think we can cover. I'm going to leave this tab open. We want to get back to it because there's a title here that I want to talk about in the future for another video. But here is also something related to Microsoft privacy notice. And I don't know why specifically this one's open, but I know that there was a reason. I think the reason why is because I mentioned that I have subscribed to McAfee's identity theft protection, and they sent me a notification that there was a data breach, right? And so what ended up happening is I clicked on the link, and you're not supposed to do that. Don't do that. But, I knew what I was doing in this case. And that's still bad practice. Just log in, go to Google, just search in McAfee or whatever, and type in and go there. Don't click on a link. That's the best practice. But anyways, the link didn't work, right? I believe, and that had to do with, which we'll get to in 3, 2, 1, a time freeze right here. Okay. Here is Microsoft Outlook having problems, not on this particular page. It's reloaded just fine, but I wanted to show you the mail here. Of course, is from McAfee itself. Info is found on the dark web. You asked us to keep a lookout for your stolen personal information. Expand your protection by adding more information for us to monitor. And I think I'll do that into the future, but I'm going to leave and just want to mention, I'm going to pull out this tab here, probably leave this Outlook mail right here. And I want to log into the future over the next coming couple of days and make sure I add some new information there that I want them to monitor for me on my behalf. Your personal information stolen data breach right here will guide you through every step of the way to become safer again. All right, and so I'm going to hop over to the next tab now. And what that'll do is, why don't we switch scenes to the very bottom here. So instead of the very top, I'm going to down the very bottom. And, all right, so now we're over to the bottom now, and you can barely make that out. So I'll read it to you, but basically the very bottom, the bottom window says, this is me Googling McAfee identity theft protection. So basically, instead, like usual, I wouldn't usually click on the link. I would read the email, right? But then I would go ahead to Google and Bing, type it in, and then log in from that after clicking the top result, which is McAfee Trusted Identity Theft Protection and Online. And there's a protection score, VPN, transaction monitoring. Bing's just going through it. It's like says, McAfee offers identity theft protection and privacy for your digital life. Sounds like advertisement, all that kind of stuff. Whatever, man, get that shit out of here. Get the best identity theft protection, online privacy by McAfee, 24/7 identity monitoring, all that marketing. Yes, anyways, there's the site there. You log into it. All right, and I just wanted to mention, of course, one of the main topics I kind of lightly mentioned is that there was an issue with the email itself. So I was trying to get into ironically, this security site, which is like McAfee or Kaspersky or BitDefender, and to see that email, and Outlook was down. So the irony of security. So the servers for Microsoft Office, and this is, I guess, more of a tangent, but it was related to like a tech and security thing. So apparently Microsoft ran into some issues over the weekend, and I went to Google that up, service status portal.office.com. And you can see here, if I click on this, I follow the blog, go down here, here's one that was telling me how I can actually check the server. So Microsoft 365 server status is down just for everyone, or is it just me, or down detector too? So this is one way to figure out whether or not, say, a subscription service that you have is working or not working. I just go over to one of these site checkers or service checkers, down for everyone, or just me, or down detector, and it showcases right here. Okay, is Outlook down? And it says, yes, we are detecting problems with Outlook that began 30 minutes ago. And this was yesterday, so the last outage we detected for Outlook occurred on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023, with a duration of about 1 hour, and so on and so forth. What problem you have in Outlook? Login, receiving mail, sending mail, reviewing messages. And if I go further down here, you can see there's like recent visitor reports about Outlook. A visitor from the United States reported a problem with Outlook logging in. Another viewing the message, there's the time and the date. So for example, June 5th, 2023, 10:35 a.m. Past outages for Outlook. The last one was April 25th. And there was a great graph here that you could see a view, but I don't see it right now. But anyways, you could see a visual graphic of it, and I thought it was very interesting and very insightful, very useful indeed. I realize now, by the way, that here is actually another page of the same Facebook page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close it. I'm going to close, hold on, not this one, but yeah, so I just closed the top one, the top slice of life in real life Facebook page, since we have another one here. So we can talk about the rebranding here using this tab for the future video. But basically that kind of covers most of everything. The only last thing I want to cover is a few extra tabs here having to banking. And if I just hop on over to this tab here, you can see that there was another time about a month ago. For example, you might do regular checks every couple months, every couple weeks, hopefully every couple weeks, to make sure bank accounts are not affected by any sort of fraudulent activity. And so basically this is me going to check my credit cards. Obviously I didn't showcase anything here. This is just me going to Bing, typing in credit score, credit reports at Intuit credit. It shows up the first thing after I type in credit. But of course I was checking my actual credit cards. I'm not going to disclose my institutions and so on and so forth. And same thing, here's a tab here, just Googling bank or Bing, putting on Bing bank. So credit and bank, credit cards and debit cards. I think it's a good place to leave it off. I'm going to stop, and then because I noticed that this is already 17 minutes in, it's pretty crazy. I wanted this to be rather short. It's not going to be that short, and we still have a lot to cover still related to security. So what to look forward into the next video, by the way. Again, if you have anything related to personal security, what are your favorite antivirus suites, or what are the names that you've heard of, post that in the comments. You don't have to tell us this, you don't have to disclose your own, but it'd be interesting to start a little discussion right there, and I'll try to again leave my thoughts in the comments. What was the main highlight of your day? Just how was your day in general? What's the main highlights? Doesn't have to be related to security. What was something of frustration, that you want to vent a little bit about, and then particularly pertaining to the topic of this video, what kind of antimalware software are you familiar with? Okay. And I don't even want to talk. We're just going to completely avoid the topic of banking and finances, by the way. Don't talk about credit cards and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. All right, that's that. And I think it's a good segue, right? A good segue into the next video, which we will continue on this tangent. I think the major topic there is going to be more, we're going to go, since we're becoming so many physical videos, physical item and material oriented videos, we're going to hop over to this one and the next video, but the two of them are going to be more kind of like showcasing information and talking about topics that you can show on a browser, like right here. Okay, so look forward to the next one. I believe that one has to do with business and use analytical sciences. If you know, you know. If you don't, well, look forward to it. As well as also Google Drive, some stuff related to Google Drive. Again, still focused on identity, but it's going to be moving more toward avenues of things that have to do with privacy. So I'm going to talk a little about business, about someone who was dependent on me for a lot of technical assistance. So that's what I'm talking about, Google Drive. And then there's another one having to do with government and housing and funding. And so that's all stuff that's important, private, confidential information that is kind of protected by this layer of security. And so that's what to look forward to in the next one. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of things that are relevant to you, especially if this is 9 to 5 commute. This is very daily, regular stuff, and very down to earth. SOL, RL, slice of life in real life. Thanks for tuning in to this lo-fi ASMR conversation, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.